guys, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day, and if not, I hope I can make it a little better. I got an art printer, yeah! Let's test it. So, for those of you curious, also, sorry, please excuse the dust. I don't know about you guys. Anything black just attracts the dust, huh? This is an Epson ET, which stands for Eco Tank 8550. But don't worry. Oh, sorry, these are the Eco Tanks, if you're curious. But yeah, don't worry if you miss any facts or names during this video, as I'm going to list everything in the description box below. So my plan for this video is to test out 5 different types of paper. I appreciate there's only 4 there, but there will be a 5th one in a minute. And 4 different types of art style to see what prints best on what. So I'm just going to hook my camera up and we can get started looking at the paper and the art. So for those of you who don't know, an art printer is basically a really fancy, kind of expensive printer that prints images in really high quality. High enough quality that you can sell photographic prints or copies of your art on Etsy, in a gallery, down Artist Alley, at a convention, on Patreon, wherever you like really. So I thought it was only right we tried loads of different papers on it to see what works best for what. So here are the papers that I'm going to try today. We've got your bog standard printer paper. We've got some Epson premium semi-gloss photo paper. I got Epson brand in particular as it's an Epson printer. But if you'd like to see me try different types of photo paper in particular on it, let me know. I've got the best equivalent I could find to blank postcard paper. This is from WH Smith's. It is an A6 sketch pad. I want to say it's cartridge paper, but frankly, it's kind of sitting on the fence on that one. They do actually have a booklet of postcard paper, but it is much worse quality than this. So for this test, I'm just using an A6 sketch pad. We have radiant white photo printing rag giclée paper, and for those of you who don't know, giclée paper is basically the recommended paper to print art prints and photographs on. It's smooth on one side and it's got a slight tooth on the other side. And finally we have an ivory watercolour effect giclée paper, which is toothy on both sides. So those are our papers, and what are we going to try printing on them? I want to have a go at printing a photo, a digital drawing, a watercolour, and an ink drawing, as in like alcohol ink. First things first, let's design our watercolour painting. final piece turned out, and I'm very happy with it. Once again, links will be in the description box below for everything I used. And just in case you're curious, it's like a tea pipe dragon with a cup of tea, and this is a party ring. I think they're quite unique to the United Kingdom, but every kid's party isn't a kid's party if it doesn't have a party ring. So, oops, I've scanned it onto the printer. Let's try printing it on all the different, oops, oh no, I hit the printer, now it's upset. I've scanned it onto my computer because the printer is also a scanner. Yeah, let's get testing it on some paper, eh? So here is the original, and here are the printouts. And this is the first one done on the basic printer paper that you'd use for printing off an essay for school or at work. And you know what? It's done pretty well. If you're gonna make a zine, or you had like an art project to hand in at school, or you wanted to make a flyer or anything, pretty good. Of course, the paper is very thin, so you couldn't really sell art like this. But if you just want a basic something or other, can't complain. Next up, we have the postcard paper. And you know what? I don't hate it. It performed much better than I thought it would. The lines of the watercolour paper show up a lot more than they did on the printer paper. But I think if you could get slightly nicer postcard paper, it would definitely be worth doing mini postcards in the printer if you were going to sell like packs of art postcards. The one issue I did have was that the printer didn't recognize it when I put it in the specialized postcard photo drawer. I had to put it into the normal printer paper drawer and just like cramp everything down to tiny size. But once again, I'm actually impressed. Very good. Next up is the Epson semi-gloss paper for photographs. Once again, not too shabby. It feels a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a bit weird having a watercolour on shiny paper, but I do appreciate that on the photo paper it does print all the way to the edge. Okay, this is the actual watercolour G-clay paper. It is in an ivory colour, so it has tinted everything. You can, if you're going to do an A4 print it right to the edge of the paper, but because I was doing A5 prints, I decided to leave borders and then chop them on a paper cutter. Paper cutter didn't love the G-clay paper, either of them. This one it preferred slightly. The rag paper it really chewed up. But I don't hate it. My one issue would be is it is maybe a bit two-toned for selling a print on. Also, you do have the double watercolor effect. You've got the tooth of the original paper, and then when I scanned it on, you could still see the watercolor paper, the original watercolor paper lines, which I've also printed. Though if you cut it down, it kind of looks like it would be printed on canvas. I think my biggest issue with this paper, because the quality is amazing, is just the colour. Maybe just a little bit yellow for recreating how the art looked in reality, because like you can see the difference. Much warmer than this one. But I mean, if you like the warm feel, I can't complain. And finally, this is the rag paper, and I printed, quite by accident, on the right side because I had forgotten that there are two sides to the rag paper, and I really like it. I don't know if you can see, these are the fuzzy lines I was talking about that my paper cutter did. So I'm not going to blame it on the paper. I'm going to say my paper cutter was like £18. So I imagine if I invested in a slightly higher grade paper cutter, you wouldn't get the edges so much. But I think, once again, if you cut it down completely, it looks pretty good. It would look like a nice watercolor print. And just so you compare again with the original watercolor paper, this one, it's got a slight warmth to it. Yeah, I think winner out of all of these is the rag paper. So let's move on to the next type of picture I want to have a go at printing, and that will be an alcohol marker drawing. Let's get drawing.
here's how the finished picture turned out. It's of Dipper from my online comic companions as a mermaid, and oh, it's so gorgeous. And just in case you're wondering, this is the marker paper that I got from Temu, so I might have got some in A4 size as well. Okay, I've scanned it on. Let's get printing.
So here we have again the original drawing and the printouts for comparison. And this is the printer paper. I'm not gonna lie, I think the printer paper's done a pretty good job for just like usual bog standard printer paper. I mean, once again, you couldn't sell it because it's not durable enough to last or be archival. But if you just wanted to print off a pretty picture to stick on your wall, or to hand in for an assignment, you can't go wrong, quite frankly. Especially, it seems to have colour matched quite nicely. So, yeah, good job, printer again. Next, we have the postcard. I'm really impressed with the postcard. It's maybe come out a little bit colder than the original colours. Much brighter, which actually I don't mind. Yeah, if I had a whole set, I would be very happy to sell a whole set like this. Here is the photo paper, and this time for some reason it did have a margin around the outside, but I don't mind that. It kind of, I don't know, it makes it look more art printy, and actually I quite like the shine on this. It does give it that sort of I went to a museum and bought an art print of my favourite picture. Look. And compare it, the colours are pretty similar. I actually really quite like that. I think I might consider photo paper for printing marker papers on in the future. Next up, we have the rag paper, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Here's the original, just so you can compare. Maybe slightly warmer, slightly darker, but oh, it really is gorgeous. Once again, I printed on the slightly smoother side, and I can't complain. I can't complain. You can't see any sort of streaks or bumps. Nice. All I can say is nice. And finally, here is the watercolour paper. It is warmer, but I don't think it looks as bad as printing a watercolour on the watercolour paper. I suppose you could pretend that you watercoloured this originally, couldn't you? So this is how it looks. Once again, I'm a little not sure how I feel about the slightly warmer tone, but I think actually that turned out quite well. So my favourites for alcohol markers are, if you want it to have a kind of arty effect, then the watercolour paper. If you want it to be a bit smoother, then definitely the rag paper. And I really don't hate how it looks on the photo paper. Of course, the one drawback for the photo paper is it will have the brand name on the back. So, shall we try digital art next? This time I'm going to use my illustration I did a couple of weeks ago of Lum. Due to the nature of digital art, I don't have the original in front of me here, but hopefully we should still be able to decide what we like. Once again, this is the printer paper, and you know what? Once again, it's done a good job. If you look really closely, you can maybe see a few little speckles in the hair. But apart from that, the colour matching is nice. It's quite smooth. Can't complain. Next up, we have postcard paper. I don't know why, but I don't like it as much on the postcard paper this time. There are more bubbles in the hair. You can see the odd imperfection. I don't know if it's just like the flimsiness of this postcard paper doesn't do the picture justice. I'm not sure. But I think maybe if it was thicker postcard paper, maybe it would look better. I'm not sure. Next up, we have photo paper, and I was expecting digital art to look pretty good on photo paper. And yeah, I think it does look pretty good. One issue I do have though is that the colouring is slightly different from Onward. You can see how this is a much brighter pink. The colours are sort of toned down a bit. So I don't know whether this is more colour matched. I'm going to assume this is more colour matched. But I'm not gonna lie, I quite like how bright these are. But yeah, if you wanted to sell a digital print as a postcard, I'd actually be more inclined to use this photo paper. Next up, we have the watercolour paper, and I think because it's got the yellow tint, I don't feel it as much. And I think because the art itself is quite a smooth cell style, the bumpiness of the watercolour paper doesn't match the smoothness of the art. So I probably won't print digital art on the watercolour paper again. And here we have the rag paper, and I love how smooth it is. The smooth art style really suits the smooth paper, and there are no bubbles in the hair like with the printer paper or postcard paper. I think if I was going to print more digital pictures, it would have to be the rag paper, and if I was going to sell them as postcards, I would get photo paper, but I'd try and get photo paper that doesn't have the brand name on the back, because you can't really use it as a proper postcard if it's got a brand name on the back. Right, tell you about photo paper. Shall we have a go at actually printing a photo? I'm going to use this photo I took at Dover Castle inside, because it's very complicated. I think it should really test the printer's ability. Let's do it. So here's our last attempt, and this is the photo on the printer paper. It was a very complicated picture, and I think it's got the colours right, but maybe it has struggled a little bit to get all the little pores in stone and the sharpness around the leaves. But for printer paper, I mean, I don't think you could complain. Next up, we have the postcard. Oh, you can see here at the top where the printer's got some black lines on there, so not great. I do like how it's come out on the mat, even though, like, you imagine photos to be shiny. Once again, maybe the detail could be a bit better on the plants. But I don't know, if you like live somewhere and you wanted to sell local photography postcards, well, you could do alright with the postcard paper. Next, we've got the Epson photo paper, and the image is a little bit sharper. It's kind of how you expect a photo to look, doesn't it, really? Yeah, just a photo on photo paper. Next, oh, I really don't like this one. This is the watercolour paper again. I think the yellow has done it no favours, and I think the texture of the paper has done it no favours. It looks like you've tried to fake making a photo look like a watercolour because you didn't have the ability to do the watercolour in the first place. I wouldn't recommend printing photos on the watercolour paper. And finally, we have the rag paper again. and I think it looks gorgeous. I'll have to do a better trim job on it. This was, I think, one of the first ones I trimmed, so the edges are a bit uneven, but it's crisp, it's sharp, it's matte rather than shiny, so you guys who prefer matte to shiny, this is definitely the paper to go to. It's archival. Will it look good on a wall? I mean, you can't complain, really. So if I was going to make more photo prints, which I'm probably not going to because I'm not a photographer, but if I was going to, I would definitely pick the rag paper, and for people who like shiny, the photo paper. Let's go make a summary. So here are all our pictures. Did you have a favourite? I'd love to know. Did you have a favourite paper? Mine is definitely this Radiant Photo Rag Paper by Photo Paper Direct, or PPD. I'll definitely stick a link in the description box below for these guys, because I'll definitely be getting more. I think when I print my prints, it's going to be done on this paper. I just really appreciated its versatility. Actually, is there any paper I didn't use that you'd be curious to see? I'll be happy to give it a try for you. And talking about prints, I suppose I should let you know that I've reopened my Patreon. Yes, I have a Patreon, I know. It was originally for my online comic companions, but whilst my comic is on pause whilst I work out what to do with it, I'm allowing it to become sort of like a general Enchanted Violin arts Patreon. So from as little as $1, you can follow updates on my art process, my writing, my life, whatever. $10, you can have your name read out at the end of every video. Cheers. And for $15, which is £13.50, UK viewers can be sent an art print every quarter, personalised to you, straight to your doorway. And don't worry if you don't live in the UK. I think I've set it to $20 a month. You'll get the same quarterly service. I just had to boost the price a bit because obviously postage is more to send it to the rest of the world. So if there's anything you'd be curious about looking into, link will be in the description box below. I'd love to create an Enchanted Violin community, and I'd love to share my art prints with you. Well, thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. I'd love to know what your favourite paper and favourite art was. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below. If you could like, subscribe, turn on all notifications and share this video, that would be amazing. You can find me at Enchanted Violin on Instagram and TikTok. Links will be in the description box below, as well as links to my online comic companions, and as well as a link to my Patreon. I'll see you next time.